Hello everyone, I'm here today to review La hija única by Guadalupe Nettel, or Stillborn as it has been translated in English. I did read it in Spanish though, and I listened to the audiobook, which is narrated by Guadalupe Nettel herself, so I cannot say much about the English version of it, but yeah, I can talk about the story itself. And this has also been longlisted for the International Booker 2023, and that's kind of how I came across it. And this is the story of mainly three women. One of them, Laura, is the main narrator, the narrator of the story, and she has never wanted children, and he decided from very young that he was going to be sterilized so that she doesn't have any children. Then we also have Alina, who was her friend, and she was in the same boat as her. She didn't want children when she was younger, but then as she grew up, she just changed her mind and decided that she wanted children. So her husband and her went through a period of trying to have children, infertility, and she eventually does get pregnant, but there are complications with the pregnancy that make her think that her daughter is not going to live. And then we also have Doris, who is the neighbor of Laura, and she has a son, like 8-year-old son, and he has issues with anger management, and a lot of that is because of his father. His father was abusive, and that's how he got into the violent side of things. But other than that, he's a very lovely boy, and Laura has a very strong connection with him, despite the fact that she doesn't normally like children that much. And we also have other characters here and there, other women that enter their lives, like Laura's mother, or like the nanny for one of these children, things like that. But mostly it's about these three women and their take on motherhood. And I love the fact that it's not a one-side street when it comes to this discussion. Normally it's about people that want children, people that don't want children, people that don't like children, people that like children and want children. And that's kind of how it's normally discussed, but this was a lot more nuanced and a lot more complex in the way that it explores the topic. So as I said, Laura doesn't want children. She has been sterilized, and still she has a very lovely bond with this boy from the neighbors, and she cares for him, like genuinely cares for him. And she's also very, very happy when her friend that was in the same boat as her decided that actually I want to have children, and then she gets pregnant finally. Laura is genuinely happy for her friend, and then her friend at the same time, she goes through the whirlwind of emotions of I don't want to be pregnant, and then I want to be pregnant, and then I can't be pregnant, and then I am pregnant but there's something wrong with the baby, and then when the baby is born, like what happens to the baby, all of those things, and trying to care for someone and have a life at the same time. And the same with the neighbor Doris. She has the problem of course she loves her child, but also she has all these memories of the father of that child and how that child reminds her of this very traumatic experience. So we can see that it's never like a one-way road, and it's never a simplistic thing. There is a lot of emotions that live at the same time in a mother's thoughts, and I would assume a father as well. Any parent has a lot of mixed emotions about being a parent all the time, and same for the people that decide not to have children. It doesn't mean that they will never be around children and that they will not form connections with children, or that they cannot be genuinely happy when someone that wanted to have children do have children. So I love the whole complication of looking at this topic in so many different ways and in so many different angles that make it a lot more clear, I think, why it's important to talk about it and why we should never judge anyone based on their willingness or not, or feelings about children and having children. It's a very personal thing. I think this book does a really good job at looking at it. And I think that also this was helped by not only by the topics that they are touched, but also by the writing style. The writing style was very emotional. It almost brought me to tears several times, and I'm not normally a person that cries with books, but this one was very emotional, and maybe that's also because the audiobook was narrated by the author, so she knew how to put all the right accents in all of the right places. And as I understand, this is a semi-autobiographical thing of something that happened to a friend of Guadalupe Nettel, so that also has the touch that it is actually things that happen all the time. And yeah, I felt that it was very well constructed, and it was very to the point. The only thing I was a little bit, not that I disliked, but I thought it was a little bit out of place, was, so Laura has a nest of pigeons in her roof, and there's also things going on with that nest, eggs that come in the nest and disappear, and little pigeons that appear in the nest, and she tries to make certain sort of parallels between the two things, and I didn't think that was necessary, and I didn't think that was like the best part of the book, but yeah, other than the pigeons, I think the book was really on point, and I really enjoyed the conversations that it started in my mind, and I wish more people read it, because I think it's a very nuanced portrait of parenthood, and I think it's a discussion that should be had in more points of view than just like people who have children and people who don't have children. So yeah, maybe this was a bit of a rambly review, but I hope you enjoyed it. Overall, I really enjoyed the book, and I hope you pick it up. Let me know if you are going to pick it up, and until next video, bye!